Just in case the concept isn't absolutely clear from the title, the purpose of this video is to assemble the strongest possible starting 11 made up of players in the Premier League, but with a maximum of just one player per club. Naturally, any Premier League best 11 without any restraints is likely to be dominated by Manchester City and Liverpool players, but this way, that isn't possible. Just over half of the Premier League will be represented in the starting 11, whilst 19 clubs will be represented in total when one accounts for our 7-man bench and manager as well, or 20 if we include a stadium. Here is my Premier League 11 with just one player per club. Goalkeeper, Lukasz Fabianski. Starting out in goal, my choice is West Ham number 1 Lukasz Fabianski. Fabianski has been brilliant for both Swansea and West Ham since leaving Arsenal in 2014, and he must have won the Hammers almost double figures in terms of points last season. His impressive performances saw him named as Hammer of the Year, just a season after he was named as Swansea City's Player of the Year as well. West Ham have lots of talent from Issa Diop to Sebastian Haller, but we're using our West Ham spot on the dependable Lukasz Fabianski. Right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. This may seem like madness since it means there's no place for Virgil van Dijk or Mohamed Salah in our starting 11, but the balance of this side and the distribution of talent look best with Trent Alexander-Arnold as our Liverpool representative. One of the best crossers of the ball in world football, Alexander-Arnold registered a Premier League record 12 assists last season, and I wouldn't bet against him matching or even bettering that this season. Still only 20, the Liverpool-born fullback is a gem of a footballer, and he starts for us. Centre-back, Harry Maguire. Meaning there's no Paul Pogba in our 11, my Manchester United inclusion is Harry Maguire. There will no doubt be those who think having Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back and Virgil van Dijk as centre back would be a better use of our Liverpool and Manchester United allocations, and I did consider it, but I really think Alexander-Arnold is quite special. Harry Maguire, who became the world's most expensive defender this summer, is a powerful, yet cool, calm and collective figure in the centre of defence. Right now he is England's best centre-back and he's among the best in the Premier League. Centre-back, Nathan Ake. It seems somewhat unusual to use our Bournemouth spot on a centre-back when the Cherries are renowned for their attacking prowess rather than their defensive might, and have the likes of Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser and David Brooks too often in attacking areas. There's heaps of competition for all those positions though, and Nathan Ake is an excellent centre-back. Really athletic and rarely panicked, he's a good footballer, not just a good defender. I think he'd make an excellent centre-back partner for Harry Maguire, so they're the two that I'm going with. Left back, Luca Digne. One could make a case for the inclusion of Andy Robertson, Marcos Alonso and even Benjamin Mendy when fit, rivalling our two, but in the form of Trent Alexander-Arnold and Luca Digne, we certainly have two of the most creative and defensively dangerous fullbacks in the Premier League in this 11. French international Digne joined Everton last summer from Barcelona, picking up the Players Player of the Year award in his debut campaign. I think really highly of Gylfi Sigurdsson, but I think Digne will get even better this season, and there's no doubt in my mind that he ought to be the Everton representative in this side. Defensive midfield, N'Golo Kante. Following the departure of Eden Hazard to Real Madrid, I think most people would be inclined to agree that N'Golo Kante is Chelsea's best player. The World Cup and PFA Player of the Year winner has a terrific engine and ability to win the ball back, as well as being pretty efficient in recycling possession. His career stumbled a little under Maurizio Sarri, where he's played in a slightly unfamiliar position, and he'll be hoping to get back to his best under Frank Lampard. When firing on all cylinders, Kante is one of the finest midfield workhorses, destructors and spoilers on the planet. Holding midfield, Ruben Neves. We have two sitters in midfield, one who will cover every blade of grass and stop opponents' attacks before they've even started, and one who can dictate play, pick passes and run a game. Ruben Neves is a class act who looked totally out of place with Wolves in the Championship, but maybe took a season to really get to grips with the Premier League. He was still good last season, but he's already shown hints that he could be pretty key for Nuno Espirito Santo's side in the Premier League and in the Europa League this season. He starts as a deep line playmaker who, as we all know, is also capable of scoring the occasional wonder goal. Attacking midfield, Kevin De Bruyne. Yes, I know, it's terribly predictable, but it's still right. Manchester City have the best squad in the Premier League, and they can offer a world-class candidate in just about every position, probably with the exception of left back, given Mendy's last couple of seasons at least. Pep Guardiola's best player though, and I'm including the laughably brilliant Sergio Aguero, is still Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne can glide past players, send them one way or the other with a little body swerve, pick out 40-yard passes, or slide through balls. He can cross the ball as well as anyone on the planet, and he can strike the ball on goal from outside the box with power and accuracy. Unplayable at his best, and still brilliant at his worst, he's the chief creator in this side. Right wing, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He may like to play through the middle, and I would like to play him through the middle, but Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang will have to settle for a place on the right side of our three-pronged attack here. The Gabonese superstar actually seems to be a little underrated by a lot of people, and it's worth remembering that no player scored more goals than him in the Premier League last season in what was his first full season in England's top flight. He has lightning pace, a brilliant eye for the half at even quarter chance, and an unerring finish when through on goal. He is Arsenal's best player, and he's Arsenal's representative in this 11. Left wing, WILFRIED ZAHA. It's no secret who Crystal Palace's star man is, and that's why the Eagles were so determined to keep hold of WILFRIED ZAHA this summer. ZAHA isn't actually particularly prolific, good for about 9 or 10 goals a season, once again you'd imagine, but he does give Palace a real spark, and without him, it's hard to see where either their invention or goals would be likely to come from. Heavily linked with both Arsenal and Everton during the summer, ZAHA is a box of tricks and a wonderful individual. He makes our starting 11 on the left of an incredibly dangerous looking front three, and I still think he'll most likely leave Selhurst Park next summer if he hits double figures this season. Centre forward, Harry Kane. There are many brilliant strikers in the Premier League from Jamie Vardy to Raul Jimenez, but once Sergio Aguero was out of the question due to Kevin De Bruyne's inclusion, there were never really too many doubts about Harry Kane being our talisman up top. Sergio Aguero is the only man who can come close to the consistency and regularity with which Harry Kane has scored goals in the Premier League over the last 5 years. During that period, Kane scored 41 goals in his most prolific season and 24 goals in his worst, winning 2 Premier League Golden Boots and the World Cup Golden Boot. Last season, there were some who suggested Tottenham were a better team without Kane, a surefire sign of madness. He's Tottenham's best player, and they have some very good ones, and he's our number 9. The team, including manager and substitutes. We'll start with our substitutes and then come to our manager, and as backup to Lukasz Fabianski, my choice is Martin Dubravka. The Slovakian was excellent for Newcastle last season, as the Magpies had one of the best defensive records in the division under Rafa Benitez, and his inclusion means there's no place for Sean Longstaff or Joey Linton on our bench. As centre-back, I've gone for Brighton stalwart Shane Duffy, who has formed a pretty reliable centre-back partnership alongside Lewis Dunk over the last few years. Either could have made our bench, if I'm honest. We use up our Southampton quota of 1 on our substitute fullback, and that man is Ryan Bertrand. A very capable fullback, a former PFA Team of the Year inclusion and a Champions League winner, Bertrand has been with Southampton since 2015, and the Saints are lucky to have him. He's joined by Watford midfielder Abdoulaye Doucouré, who subscribers to this channel will know I've been a long-time admirer of. In certain circumstances and in certain games, one could certainly make a good case for starting Doucouré in place of Neves, and he'd bring bags of energy and intent alongside compatriot N'Golo Kante. As a more attacking midfield option, and given that he was bitterly unfortunate to miss out on the starting 11 itself, James Maddison quite rightly makes the squad. Leicester have one of the best squads outside of the top 6, and Jamie Vardy, Youri Tillman and Ben Chilwell all ought to be considered, but Maddison is the one who features for us. Joining him is tenacious Burnley forward Ashley Barnes, who seems to be getting better and better every season. He isn't the most fleet-footed of forward players, but he is an absolute devil to play against. Any defender marking Ashley Barnes knows they're in for a torrid afternoon, and the former Austrian youth international has bagged 4 goals in 4 games so far this season. Lastly, the 7th man on our bench should come as a little surprise, and that man is Teemu Pukki. An inspired piece of business by Daniel Farke at Norwich to bring the Finnish international in on a free transfer. He was the Championship Player of the Year and top scorer last season, bagging 30 goals in 46 games in all competitions. It was his all-round play as much as his goals that caught my eye though, and the former Romney man has made a barnstorming start to life in the Premier League with 5 goals in 4 games. You will notice, if you support one of them at least, that the only 2 clubs not yet to have featured are promoted duo Sheffield United and Aston Villa. The likes of Jack O'Connell and Enda Stevens from Sheffield United, or John McGinn, and Tyrone Mings from Villa could easily have made the squad, but we do still have 1 spot left for a manager. That crown has to go to Sheffield United boss Chris Wilder, who has performed miracles with his boyhood club at Bramall Lane. The Blades had no right to win promotion last season, but they pulled it off. They now have no right to stay in the Premier League, but with Wilder at the helm, you'd be a fool to rule it out. In the interest of diplomacy, I think this 11 should play out at Villa Park, and thus we have every club in the top flight of English football covered. To recap on our starting 11, made up of just one player from each of the Premier League clubs, it reads like this: Lukasz Fabianski, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Harry Maguire, Nathan Ake, Luca Digne, N'Golo Kante, Ruben Neves, Kevin De Bruyne, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Wilfried Zaha, and Harry Kane, with a bench made up of Martin Dubravka, Shane Duffy, Ryan Bertrand, Abdoulaye Doucouré, James Maddison, Ashley Barnes, and Teemu Pukki, all managed by Chris Wilder and playing their home games at Villa Park. Now let us know in the comments what you think of that 11, where you think they'd finish in the Premier League, and whether you think you can do better. Personally, I think that 11 would make the top 4, but I still think Man City and Liverpool would have too much for them in terms of a title race. That's it for today's video. Congratulations on making it to the end of the video. Since you've got this far and in exchange for eternal good luck and happiness, why not subscribe and turn on notifications for the ever brilliant HITC Sevens. Also, for mobile users, if you click on your screen now, there should be some suggestions of other videos YouTube thinks you might like, and I agree with YouTube. If you're watching on desktop, they should appear of their own accord. Thank you all for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a brilliant day.